Hey there, it's your boy Foxy, back for more relationship stories. The lifestyle she wants is all I have to offer. Original post. For context, my 42 male, wife 38 female is a stay-at-home wife by her choice of our two kids 1 and 4 years old. I used to work full-time in a large hospital in our town as an attending oncologist, but due to her needs at home, I have since cut my clinic time in half and make up for the break in my in-person work via telehealth. It's not uncommon my patients get to see my kids as they are meeting bomb from time to time, but admittingly, it's nice to see the smile these unplanned moments bring to both my kids and patients' faces. We by no means have a lack of active support. Both our parents are available and willing to help watch our kids. My income is enough that my wife, if she felt that we needed it, could hire a nanny part or full-time or live-in. And since I shuffled my clinic and worked with colleagues to make it work, I am available almost all but 6 or so hours a day. And even so, during those 6 hours, I frequently step away to make sure my wife and whomever else is helping watch our kids are taken care of. I know she has postpartum depression. She had it with our first, another time with a child she miscarried, and now with our second. I've offered help in all forms, but she reiterates the fact that she just doesn't want to talk to either a stranger or someone who is my friend telling me everything behind her back, because all doctors do that, right? So rather than argue, I try to do my best and make it work for everyone. It's not easy, but it's the best solution for an unavoidable scenario. 3 weeks ago, when I found out via a colleague who frequents the same Facebook mothers group as my wife, that according to her vent post, I as a husband and father, if it wasn't for the lifestyle my husband can provide for me, I would have left by now. He provides no support at home, has no clue how to raise kids and is useless AF. Workaholic who doesn't prioritize me or my kids. And my favorites can easily be replaced. Been talking to my ex, getting some good D on the side and more to come. My husband is so dumb he didn't even notice I've been sneaking money away from our account. All I could do was laugh in disbelief. Equally as so at all the other mothers who cheered her on and encouraged her to get that D-sis, take everything he has. After a weekend of sulking and then bringing it to her attention, and the failed attempt to play it off as a joke, explain, cover, lie about the post and its context as I found proof to everything she said in her post, she expressed that she thinks we need to start from back at the beginning and fall in love again. Long story short, my attorney has taken the past 2 weeks to look at my case, and according to him and his partners, they have enough to present to prevent a lot of the damage she thinks she can cause with the pending divorce via her story and deleting of that post. Her legal counsel is her aforementioned ex, who is an unemployed electrician who was fired for being high on a job, who according to mutual friends, thinks is about to put our house under his name, that my parents bought for us as a wedding gift that we have yet to transfer the title to our names. I'm in a mixed bag of emotions currently. Again, I'm laughing in disbelief at everything, but I'm also crying at the revelation that I wasn't good enough for someone I love and started a family with. I want to ensure our kids grow up with both of us, and when they're older decide who they want to live with more. I'm scared that she will try anything to take our kids away from me completely, and now I am thinking I should fight for full custody. I'm jealous her ex has that much power over her to sway her so easily after all these years as we started dating when before I was a resident. But most of all, I'm angry. After conversation was opened about the proceedings of our divorce, my wife's biggest concern was, well, what's going to happen to me and all that I need and deserve. Her attitude she had when I told her, well, it's not like you don't have the means to go back to work like before. Her argument, it's not the same. How can I provide for the kids if I have to work? Before our kids, her annual income was around 65 to 70K a year, which by no means bad. For those wondering, I before any honorariums and external funds from private ventures, have a base of 355K a year. Nothing about the kids or her mother whom I financially and medically support because they did not have the means to do so. Nothing about us before, during, or moving forward afterward the divorce. It's only about her and what she wants and needs, and I wish our children were old enough to be able to comprehend all of this. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Get DNA tests on both kids as soon as possible. I second this. Who knows how long she's been carrying on with the ex. Sounds like the type that would have no problem passing his kids off as yours, so she can maintain a good lifestyle and still have him on the side. Definitely DNA test your kids. I'm also crying at the revelation that I wasn't good enough for someone. It's the other way around. She isn't good enough for you. Exactly. I was sad to read this part and see how OP is internalizing what she did and is not seeing his own worth as a result. First thing to do, get DNA tests for both your kids. Do it without letting her know, so that if they're not biologically yours, you will be the one who decides whether or not you want to keep being their dad. If they're yours or you decide to keep being their father, fight with everything you have for full custody. Your kids need stability and love. I don't see that your wife is able to offer either. Second thing to do is to ask your attorney to help you protect your assets, so that if anything should happen to you, they would go to your kids, but that your soon-to-be ex could have absolutely no way to get her hands on them. Once this is done, signed, notarized, and everything, let your soon-to-be ex know about it. You don't want to risk having an accident before the divorce is definitive. Good that the house is still in your parents' name. Leave that so until after the divorce. Tell your attorney to wreak havoc. Depending on the state he's in, the DNA of the children doesn't matter. If he's on the birth certificate, he is legally their father and legally responsible. And now for the update. First and foremost, thank you all for taking the time to share some positive messages and comments. I've taken the time to read all of the comments as of this update, and I wanted to give a little more background and info. My wife and I have been together for 15 years, married for 6. Never really was pressured into marriage, but with our plans to have kids, naturally it made sense for coverage and benefits. Her first stint with PPD with our first was a roller coaster, and had the same problems minus the need for me to be home more and the infidelity. We made it through and was actually recovering positively from it up until she gave birth to our second. Personally, I knew this time around it would be like being hit by a truck. I just didn't expect this. Our kids are ours. Upon admission into the hospital, you can opt for paternity testing to be done right away. I didn't think much of it other than why not? I'm already paying for childbirth, might as well get everything that comes with it. STD panel, I'm in the clear. Once I found out everything, I went and had a full panel of lab work done while I was at the hospital for my clinic. I am not out to make this a revenge story. As I said, this was 3 going now on 4 weeks ago. Throughout my life, I had theoretical contingency plans and paperwork on hand if needed for many what-if scenarios, like living wills, power of attorney, a list of trusted executors of X matters, and so on. On that note, I suggest anyone who does not have that lined up to please do. I've been in many situations where family members literally have gone to war in the hospital over unexpected events. I don't plan to drag this out longer than necessary, and to be honest, I would have nothing to gain from potentially financially ruining her and her new partner in crime. I am still hashing out the details, but thanks to the support of the people around me, not only have I consulted with my attorney and his partners, I have also had conversations with a previous judge and other tenured lawyers in regard to how can I make this an amicable settlement. For the record, I love my wife, I just hate who she had become. PPD is a sickness, as another poster stated. It changes a person, and in some cases, it's like a switch. If this was who my wife was truly and hid it for the past 15 years, I can't say anything other than it is what it is. No, I'm not looking to make amends and try again. I've made it clear to her, her family, her friends, that I'm done. My focus on life was at one time the 3 of them, but now it's only for our kids. I have not and will not kick my wife out until either one. I am forced to, or two. My attorney states it's best she leaves. We are sleeping in separate rooms, and I've given her an open door policy where she's free to come and go as she pleases, just don't take the kids with you. Her mother is actually enforcing this rule as since this all came to light. She and my mother have temporarily moved in to help and ensure the kids' best interests are being looked out for. At the end of the day, she is still the mother of my children. To me, that still deserves some merit given the circumstances. I won't give any false pretenses that I want us to work it out and still play house. She could pack and go live with her ex for all I care, but I could not in good conscience leave her to sleep in her car or wherever else due to my actions. We live in a one-party consent state. My wife also seemed to forget that our house has a pretty robust CCTV system that has a 24/7 surveillance that is saved. I'll spare you the details of the proof found in the system. With that, phone, bank, social media, and her GPS tracking records, my attorney is having a field day. A comment caught my eye, so just for clarification, traditionally we did not hold clinics via telehealth, but thanks to COVID and restrictions, that we had no choice but to implement this option during the height of the pandemic in 2020 to 2021. A patient on active treatment has to come into the hospital in person. To this date, many cancer hospitals still have visitor restrictions and offer telehealth options for patients who are being seen for follow-ups for survival and general reasons. Many of the larger academic centers have also implemented teleservices for clinical research in which we also explain protocols and collect their informed consent. I do not only work 6 hours a day. I dedicate 6 hours when working from home solely to work and still report in person for clinic twice a week, and I'm on call 1 weekend a month. My apologies if there is a delay in updating. More than likely I will later do so again this week, given my schedule and meeting with everyone regarding my next moves. Thank you all again for taking the time to read and comment if you did. I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the week. Just venting. Last story. I asked my wife for a break after she called me a good-for-nothing drunk. I have been with my wife for 5 years, married for 3. When we met, I told her about how I was a newly recovering alcoholic. I had been sober for 2 months when we met, and that if she wanted to leave, she could. She said no, and our relationship bloomed. She was there for me during the good times and the bad. Whenever I wanted to drink, I would think about how it would implode our relationship, and now I'm proud to say I haven't drank for 5 years. During Christmas, I got a gift from a coworker who didn't know I was in recovery, which was a bottle of alcohol. I thanked him while saying, "Thanks, but I'm actually a recovering alcoholic, but I appreciate the gesture." I placed it on a shelf in my office so that whenever I saw it, it would remind me of how far I've come. Last week, my wife and her sister, who had come to stay for a few days, were in the living room when I got home. My wife was upset, and her sis was consoling her. Obviously, my first thought was, is she okay? My wife looked at me and took out the bottle that had been in my office. However, the thing was half empty. She asked me how long I'd relapsed for. I told her not since 5 years ago. She wouldn't believe me. She said that her sister said she saw me drinking with her own 2 eyes, and that she was right, that I was a good-for-nothing drunk and I always would be. The word stung. I couldn't believe my wife, who I'd loved for 5 years, would say that. So I just quietly got my stuff and started to walk out the door. It took everything in me not to cry, and I'll admit I was pretty shaken up. As soon as I sat in the car, the tears started coming. I went to the bar to forget about it. I almost drank but decided not to, as it would prove what she said about me. I left and went to my mother's house. She believed me and welcomed me in, and I've been staying here for the week, working and trying to not think about my wife. Today she called me, crying, and said she was so sorry for not believing me. Apparently her sister was the alcoholic, and when my wife had found the bottle, she put the blame on me. That day my wife had found her drinking the rest and kicked her out. Have to say I was glad. She then asked me if we could forget this happened. I said no, that it was too painful, and that I wanted to take a break to see if I wanted to forgive her. She got angry and hung up. So there it is. I'm sitting here in my old room at my mother's house, with no house and no wife. I can't believe that's where I am right now. I'm still thinking about things and just thought I'd share. Got any advice? Now for the advice. She's been waiting long time to break that one out, huh? Yeah, no one just pulls that phrase out of thin air. Yup. Sounds like she's waiting to let it rip. Lots of bad signs here. That she believed her alcoholic sister over her alcoholic husband. That she has been holding on to this judgmental resentment for OP's prior alcoholism, despite the fact that she had never even been around him drinking. That she thought she could just blow it off and OP would forget about it. And that she's angry that he didn't. Obviously, there's more to the story, always is. But from what you've described here, your wife sounds self-centered and mean OP. She has no right to be angry at you. She needs to earn your trust if she wants to make this work, not vice versa. Although if you can't go back regardless, I totally understand. I support you either way, and I'm very proud you've remained alcohol-free this whole time. Congratulations on staying sober for 5 years. That is an accomplishment that you should be proud of, and I am so sorry that this happened to you. I am glad that you stayed strong and didn't take that drink at the bar. You are not a good-for-nothing drunk. Your wife was extremely disrespectful to you when she accused you of drinking, and again when she hung up on you. She has no right to be angry with you as you are the injured party. You have every right to take some time to get yourself together after being blindsided like that. Please stay strong and go to meetings. You deserve better than the way you were treated. Good luck. Your wife does not want to be held responsible for her actions. She is trying to manipulate you to get out of it. She's going to go at this every way she knows how. Her next move will be to offer intimacy. Then she'll say if you were a man, it wouldn't bother you. Then she'll cry, and if you ignore the crying, you'll know it was BS because she'll immediately get angry. She'll going to bring up every intimate thing you've ever told her and throw it in your face. Do not get angry nor react. Anything you do now will be exaggerated when she retells the story. That's why she's doing it, so she can score social points and get others to take her side and make you question yourself. Just let her be hysterical. You did everything you could. Good job. If you do this, there's a chance she'll confront what she did and take accountability. Once she does that, and only if she does that, can you decide if you can continue your relationship. Good luck. I'm proud of you. 5 years sober is nothing to sneeze at. Your wife needs to hold herself accountable for her behavior. If she doesn't, then I can't see how this relationship will work. Regardless, before you try to reconcile, you gotta get her to commit to doing couples therapy to work through this. You pick the therapist and you don't move back until at least a few sessions. She hurt you in a horrible way and needs to understand that there's a lot of trust she needs to work to rebuild if she has any hope of making things right. Don't allow her to rug sweep, and don't you rug sweep either. She wronged you. If people who you're close to ask why you're staying with your mom, tell the truth. Not in a vindictive way, and maybe not the whole truth, but enough to say she's screwed up and you need space. This is the proper answer. This kind of thing cannot be ignored. But if this is the only problem they're having, then it is definitely worth looking into couples counseling. They need to look into why she so readily believed he had relapsed, with no signs other than a half-empty bottle, and why her initial reaction was to reject OP instead of getting him help, like a supportive wife would do. I can't imagine rejecting my husband and imploding my perfectly happy marriage over a half-empty bottle and a well I saw him drinking alone. She also needs to go no contact with the sister who would steal and lie to them like this.